Listen to me very carefully, because the ground beneath your feet is not solid concrete. It is a trapdoor, and the lever is held by someone who does not know your name, who does not care about your mortgage, and who would trade your entire livelihood for a 0.01% bump in the quarterly earnings report. So let us paint the picture of a Tuesday morning that feels just like any other Tuesday morning in the life of a rat. You are sitting there in your ergonomic chair that cost $800, which you convinced yourself was an investment in your productivity, but was really just a purchase to numb the pain of sitting still for 10 hours a day. And you are looking at your dual monitor sipping coffee from a mug with the company logo on it. A logo that you have foolishly allowed to become a part of your identity. You have a meeting in 10 minutes about the roadmap for Q3, and you feel important. You feel necessary. You feel safe because you hit your KPIs last quarter and your manager gave you a pat on the head like a good little obedient dog. Then the notification pops up. It is a calendar invite. No subject line, or maybe something vague like quick sync or business update. It is scheduled for 15 minutes from now. It includes an HR representative you have never spoken to in your life. Your stomach drops through the floor. The cortisol floods your system instantly. The biology of the prey sensing the predator. You try to log into your email to forward some personal files, but guess what? The password does not work. Access denied. The matrix has already begun to delete you. You join the call, and it is not a discussion. It is a script being read by a person who looks like they are being held hostage, or worse, by a sociopath who enjoys the execution. Today is your last day. Your position has been eliminated due to restructuring. It is not personal. It is always personal to the victim, but to the executioner, it is just math. The screen goes black. The laptop locks itself. And just like that, the six-figure salary, the title, the status, the future you had planned out in your head, it is all gone, vaporized. And now you are standing in your living room in your pajamas at 10:30 in the morning, realizing that you are a 40-year-old infant who cannot feed himself without the corporate bottle. This is the moment where the illusion cracks. This is the dissonance. You were told that if you got the degree, if you worked late, if you answered emails on the weekend, if you played the political game, you would be safe. You bought into the lie of the corporate family. Let me tell you something right now. There is no such thing as a corporate family. Families do not fire their children because the price of oil fluctuated or because they missed a revenue target by 2%. You were never family. You were a resource. You were a line item on a spreadsheet specifically under the column marked expenses. And the moment your cost exceeded your perceived value, or the moment some consultant from McKinsey decided that your role could be done by a script or a person in a different time zone for 1/5 of the price, you were dead weight. This is the reality of the American dream. It is a nightmare where you are only as valuable as your last 2 weeks of output. And why are you panicking? I will tell you why. You are panicking because you are a premium poor. You drive a car that leases for $700 a month. You live in a house with a mortgage that eats up 40% of your take-home pay. You have subscriptions to 5 different streaming services you do not watch. You have a credit card balance that you tell yourself is manageable because you have the cash flow, but now the cash flow is zero. The flow has stopped. The river has dried up, and you are a fish flopping on the mud, gasping for air. You have built a life that requires 100% efficiency to maintain. You have no margin for error. You have no slack. You are leveraged to the hilt, not on assets that pay you, but on liabilities that drain you. You are a financial hemophiliac, and you just got cut wide open. The system loves this. The system loves that you are terrified. Do you know why? Because a terrified worker is an obedient worker. The fear of this moment is what kept you showing up for the last 10 years. It is what kept you saying yes to the overtime. It is what kept you swallowing your pride when your boss disrespected you. The entire American economy is built on the foundation of your anxiety. It is the fuel that runs the engine. They tie your health care to your employment, which is the most diabolical chain ever invented in the history of human slavery. Think about the cruelty of that. In the exact moment when you lose your income, when your stress levels are through the roof, when you are most likely to have a heart attack or a mental breakdown, that is the exact moment they strip away your ability to see a doctor without going bankrupt. They offer you COBRA, which is a joke, a sick, twisted joke where you can keep your insurance if you pay the full premium, plus a fee which usually amounts to $2,000 or $3,000 a month. Money you do not have because you are unemployed. It is a gun to your head. Dance, monkey, dance, or we will let you die. So how do we survive this? How do we stop the bleeding? First, you have to kill the rat inside you that wants to curl up in a ball and cry. You have to kill the ego that is embarrassed. Oh, you are worried about what people will think? You are worried about updating your LinkedIn status to open to work? That green banner is a brand of shame in the corporate world. But you know what is more shameful? Starving, losing your house, being a victim. You need to snap out of the hypnotic trance of the victim mentality immediately. Let us do some napkin math, because numbers do not lie. Only people do. The average severance package in the United States, if you are lucky enough to get one, is maybe 2 weeks of pay for every year of service. So, if you were a loyal rat, for 5 years, you get 10 weeks of pay. That sounds like a lot until you look at the tax withholding, which is going to be taxed at a supplemental rate, so you lose a massive chunk right off the top. Then you look at your burn rate. This is where the premium poor reality hits you in the face like a shovel. You have been spending $6,000 a month to maintain a lifestyle that was designed to impress people you do not like. Your severance is not 10 weeks of freedom. It is maybe 6 weeks of survival if you do not change your behavior. The first step is a brutal audit. I mean, brutal. You sit down with your bank statements and you cut everything that does not keep you alive. The gym membership? Gone. The cleaning lady? Gone. The organic food delivery service? Gone. You are now in wartime mode. Every dollar that leaves your account is a soldier that you are sending to die, and you cannot afford to lose a single soldier. You need to call the creditors immediately. Do not wait until you miss a payment. You call the mortgage company, you call the car finance company, and you tell them the truth. I have been laid off. I need a hardship deferment. Most of them have programs for this, but they will not offer it to you unless you ask, and you have to ask before you default. If you wait until you are delinquent, you are just another deadbeat. If you call beforehand, you are a responsible borrower facing a temporary liquidity crisis. It is a game of psychology. But the real work, the real survival, happens in your mind. You have to understand that the job search is not about finding another master. It is about buying time to build your escape tunnel. The mistake everyone makes is they take the first lowball offer they get because they are desperate. They smell the fear on you. Recruiters can smell desperation like a shark smells blood in the water. If you go into an interview thinking, please, please give me a job, I need to pay my rent, you have already lost the negotiation. You have to walk in there with the energy of a consultant who is evaluating a potential client. You have to have the mental sovereignty to say no. And the only way you can say no is if you have a runway. This brings us to the concept of the Freedom Fund. If you are watching this and you still have a job and you do not have 6 to 12 months of living expenses sitting in a liquid high-yield savings account, You are walking on a tightrope over a pit of spikes without a safety net. You are insane. You are gambling with your life. You are buying new clothes and upgrading your phone while you are one bad email away from ruin. That is the behavior of a slave who loves his chains because they are made of gold. You need to stop spending money on cheap dopamine hits. The Starbucks coffee is not just $7, it is $7 plus the compound interest that money could have earned over 20 years, plus the opportunity cost of your freedom. Now, let us talk about the severance agreement. Do not just sign it. They will try to pressure you. They will say you have 48 hours to sign or the offer expires. That is a lie. That is a pressure tactic. You have rights. If you are over 40 years old, you have $20 by federal law to review that agreement under the Age Discrimination in Employment Act. Use that time. Read every word. They are buying your silence. They are buying your right to sue them. Make them pay for it. If they are firing you without cause, you can negotiate. You can ask for more. You can ask for them to cover your COBRA payments for 6 months. The worst they can say is no, but if you do not ask, you are leaving money on the table, money that belongs to you. And stop looking for validation from the very system that rejected you. You see people posting on LinkedIn writing these long, pathetic love letters to the company that just fired them. I am so grateful for the opportunity to have worked at Megacorp, even though they just kicked me out on the street. Stop it. Have some self-respect. You do not thank the person who punched you in the face. You pick yourself up, you wipe the blood off your lip, and you vow to never let them get close enough to hit you again. The ultimate survival strategy is to realize that employment is an outdated model for security. Relying on one single source of income is the definition of high risk. In the investment world, if you put 100% of your portfolio into a single volatile stock, people would call you an idiot. But with your income, which is your lifeblood, you put 100% of it into one employer and you think you are safe? That is delusion. You need to diversify. You need side hustles. You need investments. You need skills that are portable. You need to be a mercenary, not a soldier. A soldier dies for the flag. A mercenary fights for the highest bidder and goes home to count his gold. When you are in the middle of this storm, when the panic starts to rise in your chest, I want you to look in the mirror and say, this is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the universe kicking me out of the nest because I was too comfortable. I was getting soft. I was getting slow. Now I am hungry again. Now I am dangerous again. The layoff is the best thing that ever happened to you if you use it to wake up. If you use it to realize that you can never trust the system to take care of you. You must take care of yourself. You need to become unfireable, not because you have a job for life, but because you do not need a job to live. That is the goal. Financial independence is not about buying Ferraris. It is about looking a boss in the eye and saying, I do not need this, and walking out the door. Until you have that power, you are just a rat running on a wheel, hoping the power does not go out. So here is your pact. Here is what you are going to do. You are going to cut your expenses to the bone today. You are going to negotiate every single exit term. You are going to update your skills, not just your resume, and you are going to swear a blood oath to yourself that you will never again be caught with your pants down. You will build that emergency fund. You will build those multiple streams of income. You will become the CEO of your own life. I want you to go down to the comments right now, and I want you to type 2 words, just 2 words that signal to me and to everyone else that you are done being a victim. I want you to type golden handcuffs. because that is what they were. The job was not a gift. It was a pair of handcuffs plated in gold, and now that they are off your wrists, might feel naked, but your hands are finally free to build something real. Do not put them back on for the first bidder who comes along with a shiny set of keys. Break the cuffs. Break the programming. Survive the winter and come out the other side as a wolf, not a sheep. Mate o rato dentro de você hoje. Kill the rat inside you today